Hi stitching friends, welcome to my sewing room. If you've never been here before, my name is Catherine and this is where I come up to be creative. I have my cross stitch, which I'm going to talk a lot about today, a little bit of doll sewing that I'll talk a little bit about today, and general other stitchy things. It's been a while, so I a little out of practice, so forgive me if I'm stumbling over my words. I've tried to start and stop this a couple of times, but I'm just going to push through. So today is Friday. It's April 4th, 2025. I have my little cheat sheet, so I know kind of where I'm going, and let's just jump in. So a lot's happened. It's been a couple of months since I've come up and made a video, so I have a lot of stitching to share with you, a little bit of life that happened, and all good things for the most part. So first of all, I want to say thanks to my son. He wrote the music, Calvin, thank you. That's what you'll see in the opener. I try to show things from around the property. We live in California. We have the foothills of California are all green right now. It's gorgeous. I generally start with a weather report because it kind of informs my stitching. So if it's beautiful outside, I don't get as much stitching done because there's a lot to do on our property. We live on a property that our grown children and their partners live on. So it's, we're retired, but does a mom ever really get to retire? I don't think so. I mean, we live in a house where it's open door policy. They're in here, they're, coming in for dinner, they come in for breakfast every day. And so I feel like I still, have a lot to do other than stitching. So I really, really treasure my time that I have up here. And thank you for inviting me into your space. I really appreciate it. I know there's a lot of great Flosstubers out there. I've been watching a lot of Flosstube and catching up on what everybody's doing right now. Okay, so let's see, I talked about the weather a little bit. It's been beautiful, rainy, which means all the things are growing. We are kind of forced into the gardening thing. Came from a place where we didn't really garden, and now we're gardening like crazy. So I'm getting ready to plant things in our raised beds, some things to eat and some flowers to look at. And then we also have gardens that we have to maintain. And so there's a lot of that work to be done. So a little bit, not as much stitching as I would like, but that's okay. It's all good. So, okay, I was so lucky to get to go to a retreat in February. I want to talk a little bit about that. And I'm going to show you my book of days. I know some people like to see the book of days and how we fill it all out. I'm going to jump in and show you my February. I got a lot of stitching done in February and a lot of fun stickers. I went to the attic, and I'll talk a little bit about that, to a retreat there. And then my March doesn't look quite as exciting. I did do, I do a lot of stitching, but sometimes I fall off the wagon in terms of writing it down in my book. But I'm back on. So here we are. April, we just started. I've stickered it up a lot, and I'll talk about those stickers in a minute. But so February in Phoenix, Arizona was it's a retreat that was put together by Krista of Just Stitching Along, and I will link as many people as I can down below in the show notes, so you can go right to them and check their Instagram or their Flosstubes or whatever links I can find for shopping. I'll put down below. Give me a day from the time this uploads to kind of get all of those links put in. It usually takes me a little bit of time. I don't do it when I'm editing, I do it later. So the retreat was wonderful. I had a great time. I got to meet a lot of wonderful people, and I did some stitching, not a lot, but I got some stitching done, I'll show you, and got a lot of shopping done at the attic, and I'll show you that later in the haul. But it was really, really a special time. And I got to spend time with Sarah from Sarah's Stitchy Spot and Steph from Lake Girl Stitches. We sat together at the table where we were stitching in the stitch room, and it was just magical the whole time. It was just magical, filled with magical moments. I might refer to it later on as I'm showing things. But yes, it was great. So thank you again for including me, all of you wonderful stitchers, and thank you, Krista, for the fantastic job you did organizing that retreat. It was so much fun from start to finish. We did a smalls exchange. I want to talk about that for a second. Debbie won my smalls exchange, and not win, but she chose it. So we had these bags, and we all put our smalls exchange in a bag that you couldn't tell what was inside or who it was from. And so it was really a blind. You just picked whatever, and that was your exchange. And so she picked mine. I ended up doing that pin cushion from Blackbird Designs that's from, I think it's called Deer Hearts. And I don't have the chart out, but I'm going to stitch it again because I want to stitch it for me. I dyed this fabric pink, and stitched it. It went really fast and finished it just how they said to finish it. I stitched it on a 40 count. And then I got this idea from Michelle Hudson. She had a project where she was trying to decide how to display it, and she had one of those ceramic Victorian hearts that are hands and heart around it. I'll show you a picture here. So I put it in there. It's hands, and I put the heart on top of it, and that's how I displayed it. So she seemed to really like it. It was so wonderful. She was sitting at our table, and it was nice that somebody sitting at our table got the thing that I made and brought. So that was fun. Now I picked Amy, Mrs. Flossy was there, and she brought a gift exchange. So I was lucky enough to get hers, and this is what I got. I opened it, and the first thing I saw was this, and I said, I got the golden bird. I love this. It lives in my sewing room now. And I opened it, and then there was this little, it's like a book, Sense and Sensibility. Well, could that be more perfect for me? I love Jane Austen, and I love Sense and Sensibility. But when you open it, she stitched that darling cross stitch, finished it beautifully, and that's inside this book. And then she gave this gorgeous pink Angel Blush. Is that what it's called? Angel Blush Silk by Belsois. I cannot wait to use. Just beautiful. And then she gave this trim, which I'm all into dolls right now, so, or this would be great for a small finish as well. So pretty. Thank you, Amy. Amy, it was so wonderful to get to meet her and spend a little time with her. I love her. And I'm going to talk about a retreat that she has coming up in September and show you the information. If you want to sign up, you can still get in, and it's going to be at the same place that we had February in Phoenix. But she's doing the hotel next to it. It's all connected under the same umbrella, but there's home suites, which are even nicer, in my opinion. If you're rooming with somebody, you can you have a suite rather than just one room. Anyway, so I will put that information down below so you can check that out too. Oh, I had a roommate. I want to say hello to my new friend, Chris Lynch. Chris, you were the best roommate ever. If you're watching this, I loved to meet you, and you were fantastic. So she put feelers out there, and this is just, if you are thinking of going to a retreat and you're like, well, it's kind of expensive, and then you have all the room expenses, she put feelers out to see if anybody else wanted to room. And I said, yes, I would love to have a roommate. And I thought, I love all stitchers, so we can't go wrong there. And then we talked a little bit about it before, and we're both kind of the same mind. I'm really kind of a quiet person. I don't. I love to interact with people, but at the end of the day, I just want to kind of go back to the room. I want to have some quiet time, and I might scroll Instagram or something before I go to bed, but I don't like watch TV and do all of that business. So she was perfect. We were very compatible that way. She gave me this beautiful, from the area she lives in. Let me see if I can find, I forget the name of the pottery. I'm sorry, Chris, I forget the name of the pottery place, but I'll look it up, and if I can put it below, I will. And this is a famous pottery business that's in her hometown, and it's an acorn, and she had no idea I was obsessed with acorns, so how perfect. It's just meant to be. Hey, a little bit more here to show you. So this was a bag that Kim, Contented Needleworker, gave me. Isn't it beautiful? Could it be more perfect? I love it. And this is made by PT Bags. Thank you so much, Kim. It's beautifully made, and it has this fun lining. Oh, it's gorgeous. So I'm excited to put a special project in, and I've got lots of projects to show you. So let's get into my finishes, and we'll go from there. So the first finish I have, so this was a freebie, and this was given by Amy, Mrs. Flossy. And when Jean passed away, I think immediately she started to work on this project to give as a memorial, basically, to Jean. And I've been calling it Jean's J. I forget what she calls it, but you can go to Amy, Mrs. Flossy's Instagram account, and I'll link that below, and you can get this yourself, and it's free, and you can stitch it up. Now, I chose to stitch this on 56 count linen because that was Jean's favorite, and I have just a plain cream color, and I bought it at this is my finish, and I just grabbed the 103s silks to work on this, and I can't remember what colors I used, but Amy has some great colors, and I believe she used 103 silks in her design, and that is how it turned out. And then I put my teeny tiny initials down below the date because I'm trying to honor Jean and sign my projects now. I love the way it turned out. It's just beautiful. I did end up rinsing this. I washed it and blocked it, and I think what I'm going to do with it is make it into a little circular ornament kind of finish and just hang it in my sewing room, just so I have Jean's inspiration and good vibes. Happy stitching. So that was one start and one finish since I've seen you last. And that was number one. Now this one is my blessing sampler, and I think I showed it, but it wasn't quite done. Yes, I've made a mistake on it. This is the Little Red Schoolhouse Pin Keep samplers and such, or samplers. I'll put it below, or I'll run it across for you. And I used just that DMC 115 floss for the variegation. I made a mistake, and I don't know what I did exactly. I think I put this motif too close. The house isn't where it should be. I think I put this too close or that too far. So I ended up putting my initials on the side just to kind of fill that in. It works out, it's fine. And I just wanted to finish it. I wanted to kind of push through and finish it. So I did start and finish that in the month of January. So the blessing sampler, as you know, the idea is to, if you can start it and finish it all in 1 month, then it will bless your stitches for the year. And this is a piece of 40 count, and it is something that I dyed myself. So it's just coffee dyed. So I took a piece of white 40 count Zweigart and dumped a bunch of coffee in a Tupperware, left it out in the sun for 3 days last summer, and then rinsed it off, and it just kind of lightly mottled it. So that is my finish number 2, and finish number 3 was almost done last time when I showed you this. This is the Smith sampler, and this has got to be I just love it. You know, Scarlet House, you can't go wrong. I have a lot of Scarlet House on the go right now. I used all the called for silks that I got at the attic, and this is a piece of 40 count Poetic Pony Boy. I always mess this one up. Poetic Pony Boy by Those Missing Stitches, and that is my finish. Whew. I love this so much. I have to say, yes, the border was very intense, but I loved it. I really, when people say they love every stitch, you're kind of like, did you really? I loved every stitch of that border. I really, really did. It was so much fun, all those triangles. And just gorgeous. I think though I did end up subbing out the red. I used the Schoolhouse red instead of I think it was a Dinky Dyes for that, which was more rusty. And Schoolhouse red is still warm, but it has a little more pop to it, and I couldn't resist using that. So pretty. And you can see that I did change out, let me see, I have the pattern here. So you can see on the original pattern that the basket says Smith, and those are over 1. A lot of people do it as is, but I was watching Sherry Colorado Cross Stitcher, and she had done that kind of finish. So I just kind of copied her. I just used the triangle designs from the border, and I kind of mixed them up and put them there. If you want to use that, it was pretty simple. You can just take a screenshot and do something similar. And if you don't want to put the Smith name there, I just thought this was an easy way, and I didn't feel like doing the over 1, and so that's what I did. There she is in all her glory. I love it. So this will be, I need to get framing. I have a lot of things to frame, and I was just talking to my husband about that because I have a brand new miter saw. I need to watch Contented Needleworker Kim's video on how she does her framing and get some inspiration from her. So those are my finishes. Let's move on to whips. I have got quite a few here. So I'm going to start off with, make sure I'm going, yes. This is Martha Pudsey. And Martha Pudsey is by the Scarlet House. You're going to hear that a lot. Scarlet House comes up in my whip rotation quite a bit. And this was all the rage. I would say probably about 4 years ago, it felt like everybody was stitching this. And it's not terribly big. I'm doing this on a 40 count. It's going to be like 15 by 15 basically. And I am using the called for NPI, and I did sub out, this color is 504. I subbed out for the 636. I wanted something a little bit brighter, as I do. And I'm doing this on a piece of raw Zweigart raw, and that's all it is called, right? I got this at Needle in a Haystack in Alameda, and this is 40 count, and it's going to be kind of big, actually. That's how wide it is. So you can see where I am on that. I got across the bottom. I've just been working on the border and the grass, kind of working my way across to the middle to the Adam and Eve. And I just love these lollipop flowers on the border. So pretty. So I've been enjoying that. And I have these floss drops made out of playing cards I got at Hobby Lobby. I just got playing cards and I made them into floss drops. They work great. They're not too big, and there's a lot of them for like $3 you get. Let me put these away so I don't lose them. And this lives in a bag that was made for me by Andrea, Fill in 69, out of that French General fabric. One moment. Yes?
Sorry to interrupt. Can I iron something like really quick?
Okay, so this is Frances Eden. This is one of my all-time favorite. I saw Sally the Tudor House Stitcher do this, and I had to do it too. You can get this on 1884 Stitchery. And this is on 40 count platinum. And it's with the called for, I used the Victoria Clayton silks on this because that's what Sally used, and I wanted it to look just like hers. And I just went up to this side, that's as tall as it will be, and then over to this other side. I've been working on that checkerboard house. And 40 count platinum. So it's just your basic plain background. And so these colors just really pop on it. It's beautiful. Whee! I'm having fun with that. And that just lives in a plastic, just a plastic, which is just fine. What else do I have? Oh, this was a start. So I got this last time I was at the attic. This is a parlor pin cushion, and this is by Needlework Press. You can get this now. You can get it, it's all over the place. You can find it at your local needlework shop or online. I know it came out at Nashville Market this year. So what I did is I dyed a piece of 56 count, I'm brave, with brown and dark brown and a little dab of black, and that's what I got. I put it in boiling water, and that's where I am on it. Is that the up? It's like, I think it's like that. I think that's the way it's gonna be. Yeah. And so yeah, I'm just clipping along on this 56 count dyed, and I think it made it a little bit smaller, the weave, so it is a little tight. I have to really use my magnification and take my time with it. It's very easy for me to miss and go over 2 or over 3 threads rather than 2, and then it can get frustrating. Anyway, I got it outlined, and I'm clipping along on that, and I am using all the called for floss, and those are just the cottons, and they work fine, in my opinion, on the 56 count. Yeah, the coverage is pretty. It's pretty saturated, I guess, is what you'd want to say. But I think the stitches look okay. I think it looks fine. So yeah, you can use your DMC or your cottons. In my opinion, on 56 count, it's okay. And look at this beautiful project bag. Disgraceful. Okay, let's see, what else do I have here? Yeah, so this is Cathcart Cohoon, and this is by Shakespeare's Peddler. And this was market release, I think, like 4 years ago. I had to have it. 1785. It is a reproduction sampler, and there's a lot of great history inside. And it is a gorgeous chart. It is so beautiful. There you can see the original that she did. So this is very true to the original. And it's so pretty. It's a full color chart, which I love. And I used called for DMCs, and I did this little thing where I made the key. I just copied it and put it on a cardstock so that I have it all right there. And then I like to actually write on the floss drops what the symbol is, and that just makes it go faster. So this is a piece of 40 count Mozart by Color and Cotton. And this is where I am on Cathcart. You can see it's kind of a theme here. I've been starting at the bottom and working my way up. So I love this border. It is so much fun. It takes a little bit of time figuring out the rhythm of the stitching and the stitch paths, but oof, is it beautiful. Called for DMCs. And this Color and Cotton fabric has just got this great hand to it. It's beautiful. Mozart. Okay, I'm going to pause here for a second, iron a shirt for somebody that's going to work, and I will be right back. I'm back. Okay. All right, let me close the door. Alrighty, so let's go on. So I did Cathcart, and let's move on. So now I've got another Scarlet House. This is a Dutch sampler, just a sweet little sampler, and I've been working on this for a long time. Actually, I took this to Phoenix, and that was kind of my small sampler. I thought it would be easy to work on. And it was easy, but I end up talking a lot more, I think, and not paying attention to my stitching, but that's okay. So I was sitting here stitching it, and Tanya from A Scarlet House walked by, and I'm such a nerd. So I did get to say hello to her, and tried to fangirl, try not to fangirl too much, but it's hard. And she was walking out of the room when we were sitting there, and she pointed to this and touched it. She goes, "Have fun with that one." And she walked out, and I turned to my friend Susan and I said, "She touched my chart." She's probably going to have to get a restraining order against me. Okay, so this is on a piece of a 40 count Optina by Tropical Stitches. And that's how far I've gotten on it. This has been kind of like sit by the TV, or as I'm watching TV, I might stitch sometimes at night. So this is the one that I've been picking up because it seems like it'll go fast because it's small. And it will after I get this motif on the side done here. There's a lot of like counting I have to pay attention to. So we've been watching a lot of Wolf Hall, which is a PBS series about Cromwell, who was Henry VIII's, dog. Basically, he would do anything, he could to stay in his favor, which did not end up well for him. But it's such a great series. If you're looking for something to watch and you like historical and you haven't seen that, it's so good. The acting is fantastic, and the story is, that story. How much drama can you fit into someone's life? Henry VIII, oh my gosh. And Damian Lewis, I think that's who it is, plays Henry VIII, and he is so good. He's so menacing. He was bad. Anyway, so here we go. That's how far I've gotten on it. I am doing this with not the called for. I think I just grabbed things that I liked that were close enough. So like the green is baby spinach, DMC 830. Tatanka for the brown. There's just such small amounts of everything. I just grabbed whatever I thought looked similar to the picture, and I've been using just my own conversion. There's nothing really earth-shaking. The silk, I used this silk for the red, and it is a sub for 3777 by DMC, which is that kind of rusty red. And I use City Needleworks number 44 for that. And that's a nice, I think it's pretty close to what that DMC called. I just wanted to use it. I had it. So that is sampler number blah, 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 blah. Having fun with that. Okay, let's go on. I think this is another Scarlet House. The 7 Sheep sampler. Let me pull it up. Yeah, it is Scarlet House. And this is the cover of the chart. And that is, I believe it's a reproduction. It was stitched on a piece of Autumn Gold by Lakeside, which no way am I going to find that. I used all the called for silks. I think I'm subbing out a couple, but I'm doing this on a piece of other Lakeside that I happen to have in my stash. Thank you, Catherine, for buying that many years ago. It's a piece of 40 count. Let me make sure I tell you correctly. 40 count vintage meadow rue. I had a really big piece of that, so that's what I used to start this, and I'm going to have plenty left over, which makes me happy, but that's where I am on it, and not a ton of work on it. I really think I just completed some of the tree and that cane so that I can move across and start on the guy that's on the other side. It's kind of an Adam and Eve sampler, and then there's a beautiful verse that I'm not going to read because I'll start crying again, but you can find it, the 7 Sheep sampler. So I think, as far as like fabric choices, this is a pretty good choice, this vintage meadow rue. It's not quite as warm maybe, but it's beautiful. Hey, Lakeside, can't go wrong. So that is something that I work on up here only. So some of these will be downstairs, some of them will be upstairs, and some of them are a combination of both. This lives in a bag that was made by Angie, the tiny house stitcher, who is in our stitching group for the Love of Stitches. This beautiful bag I bought from her, and this is something that is that Teresa Kogut fabric. Just love it, and it's just so well made. Boy. So that's a good one. All right, let's go on here. I forgot to bring up my Martha Evans chart, but I have my Martha Evans project. So I'm going to show you this because you can see what I've done on it. This is on a piece of taffra by Cedar River Linen and Designs, which is a gorgeous fabric. It's warm, it's beautiful, lightly modeled, and I'm using the DMC floss for this. This is the stitch along that was started for Brenda the Serial Starter, her birthday. And this is a Scarlet House pattern, and it's called Martha Evans, I want to say 1897. I could be wrong about that. I'll put it below. So that's where I am on it. I really just worked over here and did that motif, and I'm just about to move this on the roller frame. So this is one of those frames that has the teeth in it. These little things have little nails and they bite the fabric, and then I just get mitten clips, and for this one I just used twill tape and tied it, but for other ones I have used the mitten clips with that wraparound Velcro that sticks to itself. Either way is fine. So this keeps it very taut, and I like the roller frames for that. That's where I am on Martha Evans, making a little bit of progress, and that one usually for the most part lives downstairs. Okay, this next one is Sarah Milthorpe, and this is something that I thought I'd fly through, and it's taken me time because I've had it on my scroll rods that are downstairs, and it turns out that I don't stitch as much in the morning as I used to. I have a stand-up frame, so I stand up and stitch sometimes, and so that's usually what I would be doing in the morning, and I haven't really been doing a ton because we've been having to get the dogs out, and it's anyway. So I'll show you where I am on this. This is a chart that you can get. It's readily available by Hands Across the Sea. You can go to their website. You can find this at Hobby House. You can find it at the Attic. You can find it at Needle in a Haystack. There are lots of places to acquire this pattern. It is beautiful. And I'm doing this with the called for silks on a piece of dirty teacup, 40 count dirty teacup. And I left all the silks downstairs, but they're what it was called for. And that's where I am on it. So I'll start back here and then I'll come closer. I've really just been working on that red house. A lot of easy fill-in. Love the red on this. It's a Veriswa. I like to use a Veriswa on 40 count. It's puffy and beautiful. Great coverage. So I'll close so you can see where I am, but if you really want to see the true color of everything, I'm going to back up until I feel like that's about what it is. It's warmer. My lights that I have set up to show you things kind of blast it out a little bit sometimes, but it's actually quite a nice warm piece of dirty teacup. So I'm having fun working on that. That is that one. A couple more whips here. And start to wrap up. Okay, so this one I haven't worked on a ton, but I want to show it because my friend Michelle Hudson from Sacramento, California is starting to work on this on Sundays. I believe it's this. I don't think it's His Eyes on the Sparrow, which I have going as well. This is Consider the Lilies by Heartstring Samplery. Just a beautiful, beautiful sampler. Get closer for you so you can see. Look at all that beauty. And I'm going to be telling you, I'll show you, I'm using all the called for flosses. I'm taking my time with this. I do have the outline, the bones of the border done, so I can, I know how big it's going to be. And I think I am using a piece of 36 count because I think I started this, am I using 36? I think I started this before I really got into working on 40 count. I wasn't really trusting my eyes, and I think that that's what I'm using is a 36. Oh, Catherine. I know it's sand is the color. It might be, you know, I'll run it across here. I know I have the information on what fabric I'm using somewhere. I can't believe I don't have, but see, look at the big mess that I have. I have all of the flosses. I'm using all the called for flosses and extra, oh yeah, I do have it written down. I'm using, it's 36 count Sand Castle by Silk Weaver with the called for floss. So the cotton floss. And I might be subbing out the white a little bit later. Is that the back? Yes. Oh, yes, that was the back. I'm sorry. But that's a pretty large sampler, as a lot of people have finished. 36 is going to be a big one. But, oh, so pretty. Look at that. I've just been trying to make it symmetrical. So I'm trying to like finish on this side what's over here. And then I'll probably go up. I'm going to start to play around with adding the words. Consider the lilies of the field. They neither toil nor spin. And that'll go across. And then I can kind of play around with moving around the sampler from that point. But it's kind of fun to work one side and then work the other, just to have it look symmetrical when I show you. Sometimes I feel like I don't want to show that one because I don't have it balanced yet, which is silly because I can't. It'll take me forever to get up here. It already takes me a while to get up and talk to you, and this makes me so happy to share my stuff with you. Okay, let's see here. Let's get into my last whip is the sampler drum pin keep, and you can get this at Hobby House Needlework. There's no reason in the world why it has taken me this long. I've been working on this a little bit more at night because it's an easy one to work on. There are some repetition of the border that once you get into the rhythm, it's super easy. Like I've shown you before, I finished the top. I just put my initials rather than the MA from the Mary Elkhorn. And this is where I am. And you can get this still, I believe, on Hobby House. This is on a piece of 40 count thorn filled by Needle and Flax. Really pretty piece. And what can I say about this? It's just beautiful. A lot of people have finished it. And you can also buy the sampler, the Mary Elkhorn sampler, which I plan to do. And I plan to stitch that as well at some point. But I've got a lot of plans. So that's where I am. And again, if I didn't tell you, I am using all the called for flosses on that. And it's just beautiful. Okay, I'm going to clean up a little bit and then I'm going to show you some haul. And bear in mind, it's kind of a lot of haul because it's been a while since I've seen you and I went to the attic. So sorry about that, but I do have a lot of things to show. And Nashville Needlework Market, I didn't even talk about that, but that's all. That's something else. I didn't buy anything yet, but I have things in my cart. Okay, let me grab what I have purchased. I'll show you. Okay, look at all that. Let's see here. Let's start with this is something that I purchased at the attic a while ago. I think when I was at Sampler September, or not Sampler September, Sampler Symposium. Last year, 24, I bought this. Susanna Lynch. I just love it. I went there knowing that I was going to buy this, and it just kind of sat in my I want to start it pile. And one of the ladies at our stitching group sells Silks for You. She buys the hanks and then she separates them out into smaller pieces so that it doesn't 15 yards. And so she did a conversion for me for Susanna Lynch. So I'm very excited to start this. I have all the silks all ready to go, and I have to just pick out some fabric. I probably will do something like Dirty Teacup or something else. I'll show you. So that is haul number 1, and I'm trying to put these back inside the pretty bag that she put them in so I don't get them lost or messed up. Okay, this one is something that, who started this? I don't remember who started it, but I had to get it. It's by the Wishing Thorn. She was having a sale on her PDFs, and I just love this one. It's Ann Davies Sampler 1873. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? It's quite big. It's 272 by 312. Oof, that's a big girl. So I haven't oh yeah, I did. I got all the DMC for it, but I don't have plans to start this right away. I just have it all printed up from, the PDF. I like to make a couple copies so that I can, and there's all the DMC I have, so that I can mark one up because I'm old school. I like to use highlighter on it And then I like to keep the original so I can refer to it if I need to. If I've made a mistake, I can reprint it easily rather than digging through my computer for the file and reprinting it. But that's what I do. Okay, this one I couldn't resist. Jessie Challenor. I got this at the attic. And this is one of those little Hands Across the Sea patches that you can get. I might make a project bag with this. Isn't it pretty? And that is the colorway that I will be doing this in. I got all of the Vera Soie. How bright those are. I just know myself. I think the faded muted colors are beautiful too. I really had to stand there and go back and forth. I couldn't decide. And then I just knew I like to work with color. I like bright things. Let me show you the pattern so that you know what I'm talking about. These are the two colorways that you can choose from with this particular pattern. She's given you the conversion for both of the floss choices. So I will be doing this one, and I have a piece of Legacy 37 count Russian tea cake that I bought there because I liked that it was creamy and really neutral, no modeling. So it looks like the sampler looked when the little girl finished it. 1904, Jessie Challenor, Hands Across the Sea, and you can get this at the attic. It's exclusive for the attic, so you can give them a call and they can kit it up for you, or just send you the chart. You can kit it up. You know, DMC always looks gorgeous. They always do a fantastic job. Hands Across the Sea DMC conversions are beautiful. So yeah, I don't know. It might be my next start. We'll see. And these are some floss drops that Krista Grammer gave us that I'll probably use for that. I put my Vera Soie on floss drops. I know it's not the best. It can make it fuzzy, but I just know that I will pick that project up and stitch it a lot more if I have it on floss drops rather than the bags and have to finagle it in and out of a bag. Just won't happen. Okay, so this is a new chart, and this is by Amy Mrs. Flossy, CML 1810. And look at, isn't that beautiful? The original is there. And so I'm looking forward to kitting this up. I might tweak it and do my own conversion. It's very pretty. It's a reproduction, so she copied the original chart. The original was done on 40 count antique lace by Seraphim, which is a beautiful fabric. I might have to get that. So you can get this at the attic as well. And then she actually did for us as a gift for the retreat. She made a chart, and this is a motif from her original. And all the DMC flosses she put on this little card. And there's some of the information. If you're looking for the Stitching Retreat, is September 19th through the 21st. You can go check that out. I know she's going to make it a lot of fun. So yeah, I mean, the retreats where you're going and you're getting a bunch of projects, those are great too. But this one is more affordable if you're looking to get together with people and go shopping. You know, you're going to do all of that and stay in a hotel. I mean, you know, the cost can add up, and when you add in the $700 or $800 that it costs for the retreat as well, I'm not saying don't go to those retreats, because those are fantastic. Bristol and summer school and all of that, you know, they sell out. But you know, if you want to just go be with some stitchy friends and meet new people and get to hang out and have that experience, I can't say enough great things about Phoenix. So we were lucky enough to have Michelle Moulin White, Krista Grammer, and Claudia from Dutch Treat give talks on on samplers, on their samplers. And these were talks that if you went to a retreat that they were presenting at, they were giving. So it was so amazing. So the Pickernell sisters, Claudia, these are the Pickernell sisters. They're almost identical. They're slightly different. Clara Pickernell and Maud Pickernell. And I don't want to go in to a lot of it because it's her intellectual property, but she told us the story of these girls. This is a motif that she has created this based on their samplers and gave it to us to stitch. But yeah, Claude, Clara, and Maud, it's just so heartwarming and heartbreaking, the stories. And that's what we love about samplers. That's what I love about samplers, is the stories they tell. It's the history. It's stitching the same things like the girls did or the young women did, and like why they stitched the motif they stitched, and then hearing bits and pieces of their life and the history, and she really dives into their lives, and it was just amazing. I was crying. It was so good. So thank you, Claudia, for that. I'm excited to start that. We also got from Krista a little stitch in time. She gave us scissors. She gave us the ribbon to finish it on. It's on perforated paper, and love it. I can't wait to do that. They're bookmarks, and that's what it will look like when all is said and done. She also gave us, Krista, as you know, is Just Stitching Along is the name of her company, and she does reproduction samplers. And I got Sarah Pettingill, 1824. Very pretty. And this one, that is just absolutely beautiful. Hannah Stephenson, 1852. And that basket, I'm sorry, that is just glorious. Okay, I have a ton of fabric I want to show you. So first of all, I got a notification from Hobby House that Needle and Flax was back in, so I went over and got a fat half of 40 count dirty teacup, which I use a lot. I love dirty teacup, and I've got quite a lot of things that I'd like to start with it. This is just a beautiful piece. So let me just show you that guy. And I'll hold them back here a little bit because that's more of the true color. They're usually warmer than what I'm showing you. Let me turn my light so you can see. Okay, and then I pulled them out of the plastic so I could show them to you. And I'll put them all together in a minute so you can see them all together because I like it when people do that. Darling David, these are from Those Missing Stitches, and I will link the shopping below so you can go right to them. And this is called Darling David, and it's very dirty teacup-esque, but it does have a slight difference to it. I feel it's a little warmer, so that's a smaller piece. Darling David, really pretty. That's one side, and then of course the other side. Sometimes you can see a difference on the two sides, and you can pick what you want to work on. This was another Those Missing Stitches. It's called Merciful Mercedes, and this is a new one. Oof, very pretty. It's showing up more mottled, and then when I get closer, it's less so. It's not quite as stark as it's showing. The modeling is a little more subtle. Oh, I love it. It's so pretty. A nice dark greige is my favorite. Okay, this was me being very brave. I was at the attic and they had a piece of Fox and Rabbit Black Swan in 56 count. So it's kind of a blue, black, gray color. It's more, I mean, it's like you don't want to use black but you want to have that feeling, this would be a good option. So 56 count, and it's a pretty goodly size, so I could get quite a normal size sampler on this. I just got a little piece of that 1/8. 17 by 18 is what I got. So there's that one, and then I also have by Fox and Rabbit. I got these at the attic when I was there. There was not a ton of fabric because it was right after Sampler Symposium, our retreat, so they had kind of cleaned out everything. So, but I could still find some. So this is a 40 count Inca, and I've always wanted to try Inca. Again, you can see a theme for me. I like that. I like those mottled fabrics that are neutral. So this is really pretty. It's hard to describe. I'm going to pull them all up together for you, but that is just a beautiful, beautiful fabric. I'll come closer with it. I got one more piece of Merciful Mercedes the last time I was at that my stitch retreat, or not stitch retreat, the stitching group for the love of stitches. Lynn was there, who is from those Missing Stitches. She is in that group and brought fabrics, so I had to snatch them as quickly as I could. Okay, so let me put them together and I will show you what they look like close together. So we've got Darling David and Merciful Mercedes. I've got Dirty Teacup. Let me put it longwise so you can kind of see. And I've got Inca. Well, let's do the Fox and Rabbit, Black Swan, and then Fox and Rabbit, Inca. Let's see if I can do this without it all ending up on the floor. Okay, so the top one is Merciful Mercedes, and right underneath that is Darling David. Right underneath that is Needle and Flax Dirty Teacup. Under that is Black Swan, and under that is Inca. So those are my fabrics. My new fabrics. Juicy. I'll use all of them. So yummy. Okay, so let me see here. What else do I have to show you? I've got a couple other things to talk about. So let me clean these fabrics up and I'll be right back. Let's talk about plans a little bit. I don't know if I showed this, but everybody is all into doing this. This is by Pineberry Lane. This is Hannah and Emma Foster, and the attic. I got the idea when I was at the retreat because the attic had all of these beautiful Goblin silks. This was put together by, it's a stitch along with Brenda and Laura, and Katie Strachan did a Goblin silk conversion. So they had this beautiful pack of Goblin silks sitting there. So I snatched those up and got the pattern, and it's Hannah and Emma Foster, Antique Reproduction, and Darling, 2 girls. And I think Katie is doing something else instead of that. I think that's over 1. I think she's doing something else, which I'm all into finding out what that is, because if I can not do over 1 stitching in a verse, I will be avoiding it. So I got a piece of, they also had a piece of 38 count Irish coffee by Legacy Linen. So it's kind of it's not mottled, it's just a pretty warm kind of like parchment. That stocking back there, my Carriage House sampling stocking, is on parchment by Weeks Dye Works, and this is close, but it's a little darker, just a hair. So that's very pretty, and those silks are going to look great on it. I'm excited. So that's probably something I'm going to be starting. I haven't really worked with goblins before. I've tried it and said, I don't know. So I'm committed. I'm committed to starting and completing that. And that lives in a bag that I made just out of that Lori Holt fabric. So I'm excited to be starting that as plans. I also have this I don't know if I ever showed you, and a grater. I think, yeah, I got this at the attic. I really wanted to start that. I have not kitted this up yet. So that's on the list of things to do. I have this, which this was an eBay purchase. I'll show it to you. It's a Williamsburg, Virginia sampler, the Mercy Hopkins sampler, and I did, oh my gosh, I did the funnest Zoom with Sarah from Sarah's Stitchy Spot, and she has Zooms, I think it's once a month that she does them, or maybe it's every 2 weeks. You should check out Sarah if for some reason you haven't seen her or seen her in a while. You can sign up for Zooms for her on her channel. She does kind of a lottery kind of thing where a random comment picker will, you make a comment that you want to be a part of her Zoom, and her machine will pick people, and I think there were 20, I think, of us, maybe 10, and she is like the Zoom hostess perfection. She talks to everybody gets a chance to show what they're stitching. And so I got to be a part of that. It was really fun. And one of the ladies talked about the Mercy Hopkins sampler. And so I said, oh, I have that. I bought it on eBay. It was a full kit. So I pulled it out and I put all of the DMC on floss drops because it came with them all on a card, and you had to kind of figure out what the medium pink was, what was this, what was that. So I got that all figured out. And I write the symbols on all of the floss drops and got that all put together ready. I don't have my fabric ready for it. Did I show you that? That's what it looks like. So the thing with it, it has a strawberry border, and those are queen stitch strawberries, which made me a little bit nervous. So I pulled out a piece of random scrap fabric and I did a little queen stitched strawberry just to get an idea on what I was in for, and it went okay. It was not super hard. Let me see if I can get this to focus. There we go. And that's what it turned out to look like. Oh, I don't want, that was too close. Okay, but that is what I will be starting when I get my fabric figured out. And it could be one of the, because this, I feel like I need a darker one, a darker fabric, so it might be Merciful Mercedes is what I might end up doing. And right now I'm just using the DMC conversion, but I might switch it up because I have a couple of variegated flosses that I might use, so it just depends. I have this DMC 115, which is a variegated red. So that's on the menu. And I'm going to talk just a little bit about other hobbies and crafts. I've been working on doll clothes. And it all kind of started. My friend Susan Stanley, who I'm going to link her channel below, she sent me a doll to work on a costume for, and she sent me the materials, the pattern, and all of that. And I ended up working on a piece of linen that I dyed, and it was that color that I was doing the parlor pin cushion in. That's the color that I ended up dyeing. Anyway, I digress. So it kind of took my time with it. It was stitching for dolls it's a lot of fun, and you are working on a smaller scale, which is good that you don't have as much material, but sometimes all the little fiddly parts, I talked about this doll dress that I made. It's just different. It's just different. So I worked on her project for a while and I wanted to get it done. She sent it, I think, in February, and I had the retreat to go to, and then, I got back and I pulled it out, and I had to really kind of, get my head wrapped around it and do a lot of reading. But it turned out great. I think it turned out really cute. She showed it on her channel, and I will link that. I don't have pictures of it because it's her doll and it's her story, and I want to respect her intellectual property. She's creating a character around this doll and a story around it. So I'll link you to that. But it got me started on this doll right here. So I was in the antique store last year and I came across these dolls and they were a great price. And I'm like, I don't really know a lot about antique dolls. I've not been into collecting them, but I thought, with Susan's project and stuff, I thought, I really like her dolls. I like the China head dolls. So I ended up picking up that one, and I've talked about her before in her costume. And I went back a week later and this one was still there. So I picked her up. And I think, now that I have these dolls, I've been doing more research on them and I kind of know what I have now. I think they're old. I think they're probably from either the late 1800s. They could be turn of the century, maybe 1810, could be around there. They're the low brow. I do know that because the hair comes down lower. And they're just sweet dolls. So they're both quite tall actually, and she's got her original body, so does she. I had to fix her arm. The stuffing was coming out, and yes, I could have made a new one, but I just thought, let me just try to do this. I used twill tape. I'd seen some other doll restoration do that, where they just took twill tape and sewed that around. So I made her a little bandage, and then I made her some pantalettes, and I made her a cartridge pleated petticoat it's got, what do they call this? Corded petticoat. So I took cording, really thin cotton crochet, and I just sewed it in. I just kept going around and around and around. I was going to go all the way up to there, and after about 2 hours, I said, that's enough. She's done. So, and then I cartridge pleated all of the waistband, and so I'm into dolls now. I'm a woman that plays with historical dolls. I'm very excited to be making her a little chemisette and a dress, skirt and dress. So that's going to be my next historical sewing that I'm all into. They're a lot of fun to sew for. What else do I have? Oh, Susan. One of the reasons why it took me so long to finish Susan's project is she showed a video on paper dolls. Okay, so now I'm going down the whole paper doll rabbit hole. So, of course, I had to zoom over and print out a bunch of paper dolls that she recommended. Again, I'll link that below too. And I made some paper dolls. So this one I covered with, I put... what's it called? It's acrylic. It's like a varnish, like you would put on a painting, an acrylic painting to cover it and protect it. It's just a clear coat, and it's so I painted that on there, and it's not really that shiny. It's a little shiny. It's a satin cover, so it just makes the colors pop, and it protects it a little bit. I still need to put backing on it, and but I've been doing paper dolls, and it's just one of those really fun things that if you print them up and you put them on your cardstock with the things are falling. You put them on the cardstock with the Yes paste, and then when you are just sitting around, watching a movie or watching Flosstube or whatever, you're not wanting to stitch necessarily, you can cut out your paper dolls. So these are just things that I found on Pinterest. I started to go into Pinterest, and some of them were the same. Is it Hewitt Cooper Hewitt is the museum that has this particular series of dolls. But these were just Pinterest, I found. I just thought they were pretty. This one is the Cooper Hewitt, and that one was just some miscellaneous. And I gave some away to some stitchy friends. They're just one of those nice little things that you can you could put them on a pipe cleaner, or what's it called? Popsicle stick, and it can go in your sewing box that you take to your retreats, and you have little friends, and you can bedazzle them. I've seen people add lace and trim and ribbon, and because I needed another hobby. Okay, so let's see. I think that's all I really have to talk about. I've been listening to some podcasts. I'll share really quick. Haptic and Hue, if you've not listened to that before, is really great. And they have the latest one I just listened to was all about the whole mend and make do kind of thing that happened during the war in the 40s. So that was really interesting to listen to. And there's a YouTube channel called Mythic Women. I'll link that too. It's a podcast that you can listen to as you stitch. And I listened to something on Lily Langtree, and it's a YouTube video, so you can also see images and pictures and all of that too. But they do a really deep dive into historical women, and so that's been really fun for me. And again, Wolf Hall, I can't say enough great things about it. It's so great. I think that's all I have to show and share today. I have a lot to clean up, and I will try to get back to you sooner than 2 months. Hopefully it'll be next month, and I won't be babbling on quite so long about everything. And I might have some finishes and some framing to show you next time. So I wish you all the best and happy spring to everybody, and enjoy all your stitching. Love you guys. Bye.